it's hard to believe, but week 5 in the NFL Sunday-wise is here. Welcome in to your sports betting brand of record. We're here 365 days a year, and we just started our afternoon show, Early Edge Live. That's what this is. Today, noon Eastern, every single Sunday, we count down to the 1 o'clock games and the 4 o'clock games. And tonight at 7:20 Eastern time, we count down to Sunday Night Football, and there will be fireworks on the show. I can promise you that. By the way, I am the coach. We are powered by the almighty SportsLine. So here's what we're doing today. AB's on the 1s and the 2s. You know how important that like button is to the growth of this show. Pound that like button. If you're brand new to the show, take the comments down, hit the like button, put the comments right back up. When we get to 200, we'll start giving away SportsLine memberships. They are invaluable. Now, when we get to 600, we're going to give away a very exclusive Early Edge pint glass, 700 t-shirt, 900 pint glass, and that elusive 1,000. My man Alex is giving away a Coach action figure from my WWE days. So let's bring in the stars of the show. And you know, on this show at noon on Sundays, I bring in my absolute rock stars. Right below me, he's busy, he's distracted, but for all the right reasons. M Squared. Hello, sir.
Good afternoon, Coach. I think it's it's afternoon for some of the people on the East Coast. Feels like afternoon. I've been up grinding for a good 6 hours this morning. So feeling good, ready to go. I love this week and love some of the value that just opened up in DFS. So I'll be back to giving you my full attention in about 8 minutes.
It's okay. It's okay. We love you no matter how much. 60% of M Squared is better than 100% of a lot of people. Matt Severance. All right, AB, you're on the 1s and 2s today. How are you, sir?
Coach, I'm fantastic. What I love about this show is that we've got M Squared working on about 9 different things. You and Maestro are sweating this game live as we go about it. It's awesome. I'm telling you, I love it every week.
What AB's talking about is we bet the Jets live at plus 17. I also bet them in the second half at plus a half a point. They missed the extra point. So, Alex, what could go wrong with either one of those two bets?
Yeah. What's up, Coach? How you doing? What's up, gentlemen? It's an honor to be here with all you guys. I'm super excited. I've got a tiny bit of housekeeping I've got to get to. I've already cashed one ticket. Cordarrelle Patterson, my man, he's going to win the MVP this year, I'm hoping. He went over 40.5 receiving yards, so we've got one. I'm kicking myself a little bit for backing Jamison Crowder and supporting anything in this Jets passing offense, but he's still alive. Last I checked, he has 3 catches. And last but not least, this is the action figure. If we get to 1,000 likes today live on the show, this limited edition Jonathan Coachman action figure will belong to someone in the chat. And I can just look at this thing. This thing is unbelievable. It's amazing. It's the most amazing action figure I've ever laid my eyes on. It's beautiful. Coach's arms are ripped. You've got Coach on the side. You've got the belt. You've got everything. So get to 1,000 likes.
I literally have like a tear coming down the side of my face. I say it to you all the time, but where you've come from and who you are now, I'm so damn proud. The Maestro found you. He begged you to be a part of our shows, and now I can't imagine doing our shows without you. I truly cannot. Love you like you are like my brother, just with a lot of hair. All right, Maestro, you've got to feel so proud of your prodigy, of your product here.
Coach, that was a months-long courtship that took to reel this guy in. It wasn't easy. Just glad we were patient and we made it happen. I think everybody's thrilled with that. I'm just stunned because A, we had a Denzel Mims sighting, and B, we had a well-executed 2-point conversion from the Jets.
So now our plus 17 looks good live, and our second half bet looks good.
Yeah, knock on wood. I have the Jets in all 3 major contests, plus 3, and plus 3.5. And I will take it. If the game ends like this, I'll take it. I'll take the push.
Sometimes even a push feels like a win when you're down 20-3 and you bet on the Jets at halftime. That would be a miracle. But right now, miracles can happen. Now, I also want to remind you, continue to put your Twitter handle in the comment section. And the reason for that is we have so many people watching now that it gets lost sometimes. So whenever you have a comment, just put your Twitter handle in there so we can continue to have that in our little drawing that we do. Also, we're going to try something different today. When we're in a game, we're talking about a prop or whatever it is. If you have a question on a prop in that game, put it in the comment section right then so we can get to it. We try to stay as we flow and not go backwards. So, guys, we got a lot to get to. If you don't mind, can we get started Would that be okay? I think it would be. All right, here we go. Maestro, you're going to start us off today. Packers -3 on the road against Cincinnati. And these are two teams that have played really well at times. Last week, the Packers covering as 6-point favorites against the Steelers, and the Bengals did not cover as 7.5-point home favorites against the Jags last week. Now, what we're on already, I will get to Mikey in a second. He has 2 plays in this game. But Maestro, how do you like the number or anything on this game? You start the discussion.
Yeah, well, it's an obvious public-professional split with a lot of the tickets on the Packers. It's such a small number. In fact, in the DK Millionaire, they made the Packers 2.5, trying to entice people to play the Packers. I love the Bengals today because of the spot, the extra rest. Packers coming off 2 big showdown-type games, the Niners game on national TV, then the Steelers game in the late spot. That's a big game. They have the Bears, a visit to a divisional team next, and now they travel to play the lowly Bengals. I know they're 3-1, but in people's minds, they're still the Bengals. So when you get T. Higgins back, you get Joe Burrow looking healthier and healthier. You get an improved defense. I'm taking the field goal. And no Jair Alexander. That's the biggest part of this.
All right, AB, what do you got? Oh, no! It didn't take 7 minutes for you to pull a Jay Smooth. It only took 7 minutes. Oh, embarrassing.
Hold on. All right, hold on. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
It wasn't a mute issue. My mic just went out. That was the problem. So,
hey, AB, I don't care what issue it was. You pulled a Jay Smooth.
Yeah, it's true.
We don't care. All right, what do you got?
Yeah. I feel like everybody's waiting for the Packers to just fall apart offensively. And yeah, they're not who they were last year, but nobody's going to be that. Aaron Rodgers had more touchdowns than incompletions last year, right? But they're better than the Bengals. And you're going to give them 3 points. Like, I don't know. This feels like a trap game on the other side. I like the Packers here, but yeah, we'll see.
All right, I'm going to come to M Squared, but real quick, Bill Rad 9 YouTube comment says, I had the under 10 minutes for the first Jay Smooth. That is great. And with that said, M Squared, naturally, I would come to you. I know you have 2 plays in this game.
Yeah, I got 2 plays here. I'm on the Packers at -3. You can play it again at -2.5 if you like. I continue to be on this team, and I have been pretty much every week outside of week 1. Didn't like the spot for them against the Saints, frankly, but I think they're a better team. I have them as the 5th or 6th. They're tied with another team, best team in the NFL in my power ratings. I think that I'm considerably higher than the market here. So if you look at the look-ahead line here, this was -6. I think it's a little bit of an overreaction. I think the true number should be -4 at this point, which is giving a lot of credit and a lot of respect there. I will say that what Larry pointed to is dead on, and that is the potential letdown spot plus the extra rest. The extra rest, once you get to about week 5 in the NFL season, that's when it really starts to matter and you start to see a little bit of a boost from it. Frankly, that's the same thing that we'll talk about in the Titans game and why a lot of people can't believe the Titans are only -4 against a Jags team. Same team. The Jags and the Bengals played each other here. They've got that long week. That long week in the NFL matters, but the Packers are the better team. Offense matters more than defense in this league right now. Aaron Rodgers is going to find success. He's going to rely on Davante Adams. I played Davante Adams over 88.5. This number is too low. It's a difficult number for sportsbooks to set. A lot like Travis Kelce or Tyreek Hill props. This number should be approaching 100 pretty much every game that we think is going to be competitive. We think this one's going to be competitive here. So I like the over 88.5 yards for Davante Adams. I also kind of like his over on receptions. It's still hanging out at 7.5. I know that's a big number. However, look at the target volume. My median number on this is 8.7. Should be a play there as well. I think you can still get it 7.5 -110. But I expect the Packers to be in a competitive one. I expect them to win by a field goal.
Get it in before it changes. Oh, as soon as you say something, it changes. Real quick, I know you're sitting there shifting. Did you have something on this game, Alex, or do we move on?
There's 2 props that I kind of like in this game. I can touch on them really briefly.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, yeah. One is Aaron Rodgers completions under 24.5. If you can still get that, I know it's floating around on one or two books. Most books have it at 23.5. I'd probably stay away from it at that number. If you look at Rodgers last year, he had this historically efficient season. Obviously, he won the MVP award. It was unbelievable. But the books are still basing some of his numbers on last year's performance and his production. So 24.5 is a ton of completions for him or for anyone. He's been under this number in all 4 games to start the season. There's going to be a natural regression from his just hyper efficiency from last season. So if you have Rodgers completions at 24.5, I do like that under. The other play that I do like in this game is AJ Dillon over 6.5 carries. He had a little coming out party last week against Pittsburgh. He handled 15 touches or 15 carries, looked really good. Aaron Jones is banged up coming into this game. He's getting all the receiving work. So I expect them to mix in AJ Dillon and to kind of take a little bit of the load off of Jones. So if you can get him at 6.5 carries, I'd like the over on that play.
Quick question. My book has Aaron Rodgers down to 23.5 at -117.
Skip
Would you
there,
like
Coach.
that number? Skip it?
Skip there, yeah.
All right, let's stay away. 24.5, play it. 23.5. It's a big difference when you're talking about completions. Thank you very much. All right, moving on to the next game. Lions and Vikings. This is a big number. Vikings are laying 10. Total is 49.5. And I know, AB, I'm going to have you start the discussion. You have one play in this game against the Vikings. What do you got?
Yeah, I do. So if you take a look historically, Kirk Cousins is 6-0 straight up against the Lions since joining the Vikings. He's completed 73.6% of his passes against the Lions with 15 touchdowns and against them, right? And I think that I think the Vikings take care of business. I know that Dalvin Cook is out, but what I'm going to play in this is we've hit it twice now. He's thrown 165 straight pass attempts against the Lions without an interception. His prop play today for just one pick or more is plus 155. I'm going to ride that one again. We did it Kirk Cousins 2 weeks ago. We did it Russell Wilson last week. I'm going to go back to that. Well, I understand if people don't want to, play a prop like that, but I'm going to take a shot on it. Yeah. So we're rolling with.
Alex, what do you got?
I've got a sneaky prop that I like. Someone tipped me off in my DM. Shout out to the guy who messaged me this. It was really interesting. It's DeAndre Swift, longest rush over 11.5 yards. I normally don't look at these props, so I was actually really pleasantly surprised when I dug in on this one. Swift has hit this in 8 of the last 9 games when he's had a minimum of 9 carries. The Vikings have incredibly allowed 19 of 21 running backs over this line, over an 11.5 yard rush when they've had at least 3 carries. So the Vikings are basically a funnel for allowing big plays to opposing running backs. Swift is a guy who makes big plays. So yeah, last season, Swift, when he played the Vikings, he had a 13-yard rush and he had a 17-yard rush against this Vikings defense. The defense is worse this season. So yeah, I like DeAndre Swift over his longest rush of 11.5 yards.
All right, real quick to stay on DeAndre Swift. YouTube question. Over 41.5 rushing yards. Your thoughts on that, Alex?
I think it's appropriately set. I don't have a strong lean one way or the other. Do you, Mike?
I don't. So someone like Swift, I would be more. I know you're obviously losing 3 to 4 yards typically when doing this in terms of the overall number, but I would prefer a combined rushing receiving with him as I think that it'll be involved in the passing game, especially if they fall behind. So I don't. What was the number on the rushing again? Sorry.
41.5 is what they said in the comment section.
41. I could lean over that. I have 44. It's not a big enough edge on a player like that I'd consider wanting to really go invest in it, but I would lean towards the over.
I really like the combo props because of the fact, like Mike mentioned, but they kind of give you a little bit of safety net when you have potential game script playing a big influence in the game. So like Swift is someone who gets a lot of receiving work when the Lions are trailing. If in a scenario where they're up, he's going to get rushing work. So yeah, having a combo prop, I actually really like them because they kind of tend to, depending on if the game goes one way or the another, it provides you a little bit of a higher safety blanket or floor.
All right, very good. All right. I like all that stuff. Great stuff on a game that we came in, didn't have an official play, and you see how it kind of develops and other things start to come together. Go ahead, Mikey. What do you got, Beb?
So I've been tweeting about it a little bit. We've talked about it before. Dalvin Cook's out. Alexander Madison is in. I'm taking a shot here on his receiving yardage. It's at 22.5 currently over at DraftKings. I think this number's a little soft. I think it should be at least 25.5. He's clearly got the upside to have 50, 60 yards in the receiving game here. I think this game can get a little bit more competitive than people might think. So I do like Alexander Madison over 22.5 receiving yards. That is an official play for me.
Okay, official play that we will add to the show. Maestro, go ahead.
Yeah, I want to add one official play as we watch the Falcons extend it out to 10, sadly. I'm on Justin Jefferson over receiving yards. I know it's high, 84.5 on FanDuel. He has the best wide receiver cornerback matchup of the day, bar none. This is a Vikings team that got embarrassed offensively last week, by what the Browns did to them. So I think it's just a huge spot for him. He's got 37 targets in 4 games. I think he's got to run wild. I hope it's somewhat competitive. I hope the Lions are scoring to keep the Vikings, and plus no Dalvin Cook might help a little bit as well. So Justin Jefferson over 84.5.
Yeah, over 84.5, and I just looked, and my book it's still sitting at that number. So as soon as Maestro gives it out, you better play that damn thing. It's going to go up to 88.5 in no time flat. All right, moving on, because we got 12 games that we got to get to, but I love the content so far. Keep pounding that like button. Just because I don't tell you doesn't mean it's not very, very important. We get to 200 likes, I'll give away 2 memberships to SportsLine, but I want to get up to like 900 or 1,000, so pound that like button right now. All right, our next game. And, Alex, you're going to start the discussion. Broncos at the Steelers. We really don't know what to expect with either team. Denver got exposed last week. So did the Steelers against the Packers. So the Steelers currently laying 1.5. 1 Eastern game. Total sitting at 39. There's a 3 in front of it. We don't like it. Alex, what do you got?
Yeah, this is a really interesting game. It obviously projects to be very competitive. I think some of that exposing came as a result of Teddy Bridgewater getting knocked out of the game early last week. I think if he had not been concussed and he had finished the game, they would have been much more competitive. I'm not sure if they would have won, but I think they would have been a lot more competitive versus Baltimore. Watching Drew Lock attempt to play quarterback was one of the worst experiences I've had this season in the NFL doing anything. So, yeah, I'm really hopeful or really glad that we don't have to experience that again. But yeah, this game projects to be really interesting. I think the Steelers can actually have a balanced attack in this game. We've seen how much Ben has had to throw in the first 4 games. We also see the Steelers passing props just hugely inflated, very big. So I think there is some sneaky value if you look at some of Ben's unders, whether it's completions, whether it's passing attempts, and even yards. I think this is a game where Najee Harris can actually get some run, and this game and the Steelers can actually employ somewhat of a balanced game plan.
All right, so Big Ben props, take a look at those and go unders. By the way, for people who don't know this number, and understand, he did get knocked out hurt last week, but Teddy Bridgewater on the road against the spread since 2000 with a minimum of 10 starts, the best quarterback in the NFL, 23-3. Take that for what it's worth. All right, anybody else have anything on this game before I move on?
I'll mention Najee Harris.
Please.
It's one that I think it's okay to lean on it. I know we don't typically love receiving props on the number of receptions, but I do not hate the over 4.5 where it's not juiced. I do think the game will be competitive enough that there's a good chance that he has that drive where he picks up 3 receptions on that single drive that can drive this prop. So based on what we've seen the kind of the ceiling game where he obviously had so many targets, but he's had more than 5 targets in every single game so far this year. At 4.5, they're high completion percentage passes that are going to him. And if you watch Big Ben's release time, it's going down and down and down. He does not want to get hit. I think that this is an interesting spot for Najee Harris over 4.5 receptions. Until we see that game where he just doesn't have more than 2 targets, I think it's fine to play this as long as you're not laying juice to do it.
All right, very good. So Najee Harris over 4.5 receptions. Maestro.
Yeah, I would definitely lean Denver, but I'm worried about Cortland Sutton, who turned his ankle on Friday, already very thin at the receiver position. Bridgewater's been amazing, but if he doesn't have Sutton, it's going to be tough with only, Tim Patrick to feed the ball to.
If Tim Patrick is my number 1 all the way through, that's an issue. It's a small issue. All right, our next game, we got the defending champs. Dolphins, Buccaneers. Now, this game's been hovering around 10.5 all week. The total sitting at 48. Currently, it's at 10.5. And we know traditionally we don't like to buy points here on the show, but this might be a spot. Where we stand on this game as a show. RJ White is on the Bucs laying the 10. Dave Richard on our prop show every Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern time. He's on Mike Gesicki over 3.5 catches today. Little juicy at minus 135. Maestro, start the discussion.
Yeah, I don't have much on this game. It's just to say how bad Jacoby Brissett is. You know, the yards per attempt is horrific. He holds the ball too long. Devontae Parker's hurt. I think Jalen Waddle is probably the only option. So yeah, I think it's a big day for the Bucs. I think they're gonna get right.
Anybody else on this game?
I completely agree with Maestro here. I think it's a perfect spot for Tampa. Yeah, that is a big number, but you not only get them in a bounce back spot, you get them early in a kick where Brady loves it, right? Like he's an old man at the golf course. He wants to tee off first, right, and get it done. So I think you've got an excellent spot there. Plus, how many games have the Dolphins won this year? 1? Is that correct?
They're 1-3 straight up, yes.
Yeah, they shouldn't have any wins, to be completely honest with you. Like, and I'm not saying that as a joke. Like, this team has regressed so far from last season. I think this is an excellent game for the Bucs. The Bucs defense is going to get after Jacoby Brissett all day long. So yeah, a lot of points, but I'm with it here.
Now I will say this: they are 2-2 against the spread. I will say that.
Sure.
But the week 1 win over the Patriots by 1, that was, rookie quarterback against Tua. And and I think Mac Jones is playing much better now than he did also in week 1 as well. All right, moving on, because we got a lot of games to get to. We are just past 12:20 on the East Coast. We need a few more likes to give away 2 memberships to SportsLine. So let's get those done. All right, now this one, Saints on the road, laying 2.5. Interesting number here. Taking on Washington. We don't know what Washington is yet. The total sitting at 43.5. Where we stand as a show. RJ White is on the Saints. He got this on Tuesday at minus 1.5 on our mega preview every Tuesday, 5 p.m. Eastern time. And Maestro, you talked to me because you are also on this game. Just a little bit of a tweak. I'll let you start since you have a pick in this game.
Yeah, I'm on the money line just because I got it earlier in the week because I didn't want to risk, a 1 or a 2-point win. But the Saints are on a pattern of, play great, play horrible, play great, play horrible. And Sean Payton off a loss on the road, the numbers are very impressive. And Jameis Winston played well last week. They were about to go up 28-10 on the Giants. There was a touchdown called back on a penalty. He didn't have any plays where he put the ball at risk. The Washington secondary has been bad. It's not been the pass rush. The pass rush hasn't been, everyone's saying it's this huge disappointment. It's really that the secondary can't cover if you really go deep. So I'm going to just play the Saints on the money line and trust Sean Payton.
All right. AB, you got anything on this?
Yeah, I completely agree with Maestro. There's nothing I can disagree with. You find yourself in a weird spot where you get the Saints off of a bounce back spot off a loss where they actually did play well. It's funny that in the loss, Jameis actually kind of had his best game, even though statistically it doesn't look like that, right?
Right.
So I think Maestro is absolutely correct. And whether you take him on the money line or if you got him at 1.5 like RJ did, or even 2.5, I think you're really getting good value.
Alex?
Yeah, I have a prop I like in this game. It's Adam Humphries over. I found it at 19.5 receiving yards. I think it's all the way up to around 22 to 23 and a half yards right now. If you can get it under 24.5, I like it as an official play. Logan Thomas, De'Ami Brown, Curtis Samuel. Well, Curtis Samuel's playing, but he's had a groin injury and he's not 100%. He's not going to play a full complement of snaps. But yeah, Logan Thomas, De'Ami Brown, they're both out. The Washington football team has very banged up, very injured receiving core. Outside of Terry McLaurin, Humphries is one of the only healthy receivers or pass catchers on the entire roster. This number is way too low. Should have been in the mid-30s. I haven't projected in the high 30s. So, yeah, if you can get Adam Humphries under 23.5 receiving yards, I like it.
You said, so Adam Humphries, you said under.
Excuse me, over. I apologize.
Okay. Now, I've got him in 19.5, but here's a Coach. Very, very, very serious question. The juice, minus 175. Is it? Skip. All right. It's not worth the squeeze. All right. It's not worth the squeeze. Sometimes the best bets, Mikey, are the bets
that you don't make.
That you don't make. You're damn right. All right. Great information there. The bosses just texted me. We've got 2 winners, 200 likes. Let's get to 300 before I even get done reading these 2 names. Today, I feel like a little bit slow on this Sunday afternoon, a little bit slow on the like button, but that's okay. We love all of you anyway. All right, here is the 2 winners. At Mixed by STIV, Hillary Long. Welcome to the family, Hillary. And then Keelan Jackson, that's K_Jackson. We will reach out to you on social media and tell you all the details on how you can be a part of us. You get all the simulations, all the analysis, every single article you're going to get for a year for free. You want to participate? Leave your Twitter handle in the comments section. We may even give away 1 or 2 for just being active today. You just never know. I do what I want to do, and I love to give away as many as I can without getting fired because I like this job very, very, very much. All right, let's move on. Eagles and the Panthers. Panthers giving the 3, 1 Eastern kick, total sitting at 46. Here's where we stand on the show. Dave is on Zach Ertz over 2.5 catches. That's been a lock every week this season. Can't believe the number's still there. Then Alex, let's come to you because I believe you have a play non-traditional for you on a side. Is that right?
This isn't an official play, but I did text Maestro late in the evening last night because he is an expert when it comes to sides, totals, and spreads. And I said, Maestro, you've got to tell me why are the Eagles only why are the Panthers only 3-point favorites over my Eagles? I don't understand it whatsoever. This Eagles team is not good. It pains me to say it as a huge fan of them. But, yeah, they're missing 3 starters on their offensive line. Their starting left tackle, Jordan Mailata, is injured as well. The Panthers defense ranks top 5 in DVOA. They've been phenomenal. The unit looks great. They've had 1 off game versus the Cowboys. And to me, they still look good in that game. Maestro pointed out they still had a solid first half at the very least. Yeah, this defense is hungry. I think they're going to have a major bounce back. I'm just not seeing it whatsoever with the Eagles. This is a rare game where I'm actually not making it an official play, but I am backing the Panthers at +3.
Wow, Maestro, you have you have the almighty Alex prop stars back in your play today. It's got to make you feel good.
It does make me feel good. It's taking a little bit of the sting off of watching Zach Wilson take a sack that he cannot possibly take, and then they're going to kick a field goal and lose by 7. So just so frustrating.
My gosh, that's very frustrating. I know
they
you
were
had
down at
minus
the 14. They were down at the 14-yard line.
Oh my gosh,
he took a 20-yard sack, I think. Yeah.
I got to be honest with you. I'm not. I know you had them on the side. You have them in your big contest, and that's very, very important. I got them. We educate people all the time on live betting. Mikey always tells you that's very, very popular. I bet you can get the Jets at +17 when they were down 20-3, and then also the second half. So I'm actually going to win money on this, but I don't like it for the show. I don't like it for the show. But live betting can make you win on the Jets. I wouldn't recommend it very often, though. I really wouldn't. I really wouldn't. You never know what the Jets are going to do. Alex, did you have something real quick?
We got hooked on Crowder. He finished with 4 catches, too. So that sack also killed his reception prop. So doubly bad. Doubly bad.
Doubly bad. All right. But we own it. We're as transparent as any show in the world. And Maestro makes sure of that. I can promise you that behind the scenes, he makes sure of that. All right. Moving on. As we got a lot of shows to get to, we are approaching the bottom of the hour. A lot of new people coming into the show. Continue to hit that like button, please. Continue to grow the show. It's very important for the growth of the show to hit that like button. When we get to 300, I'm going to give away 3 more memberships to SportsLine. By the way, in the comments section, give me a Bills or a Chiefs. Just type it on who you think will win the game tonight. Not against the spread, just who will win the game, Bills or Chiefs. Let me know in the comments section. And if you have a prop that is in the game that we are discussing at the time, put that there as well. We'll try to get to as many as we possibly can. All right, our next game, and this is also another very fascinating one, Titans and the Jags. And you wouldn't think a game like this would have a ton of play, but we've got a lot of plays. Here's where we stand as a show on this game. Well, you know what? These are all, other than RJ White, these are all people that I'm staring at right now. So I'm going to let you guys tell me what we're on. And I believe AB will start with you. Then we'll go to Larry, and then we will finish with Mr. Alex. AB, you started.
Yep, absolutely. So in this spot, the Titans are lethal since the beginning of last season. Whenever they are coming off an upset loss, they are 100% straight up and 100% against the spread. They've already done it once this year against the Cardinals and then the Seahawks. You look at Derrick Henry. He is absolutely the mayor of Duval County, Jacksonville. In his career, he's already rushed for 1,000 yards against Jacksonville alone with double-digit touchdowns. In the last 5 games against the Jaguars, he's rushed for 740 yards and 9 touchdowns. Derrick Henry owns this team. It's where he's from. He's from Jacksonville. He's already said this week that it's a homecoming game, and he wants to put on a show. I think that you're going to get a Titans team that literally looks at the mirror and says, this is a game we have to win. We're going to go out and win this game. They've done it before against Jacksonville year after year. A.J. Brown is finally back in the starting lineup as well. So, yeah, give me Titans -4.
All right. A.J. Brown, by the way, over 60.5 receiving yards. YouTube question. I'm going to come. How about I come to Mikey on that, because I got to come to Larry and Alex for their plays. Mikey, do you like A.J. Brown over 60.5 receiving yards today?
Let me grab it let's see if I can find it here. I liked it over the initial number when it opened, but I don't know that I would play it at this point just because of the Derrick Henry spot, but he should have the target volume. What I would say to this one is if you think the game is competitive enough and is going to be efficient and close to that -4 spread, then I think it's fine to lean towards the over. If you're in the camp that thinks Derrick Henry's going to roll, Titans should win by 7 to 10 or more, then I probably would avoid it because you're probably going to need a bigger play to get there. But as far as matchup goes, this is the dream scenario for him. It's what we thought we were going to see before they signed Julio Jones. It's a great spot for him. This number, it was low 50s when it opened, and I would have played it then. But at this point, I think it's pretty efficient given the opportunity that Derrick Henry is going to have on the ground today.
All right, fair enough. So play it at your own risk, translation there. Now, Larry and Alex, I know you two are on the same player in this game. So, Larry, why don't we start with you? You give yours, and then let Alex give his play, which I believe is the same as yours. So, Larry, you go first.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm on Laviska Shenault, and I don't know if Alex is officially on this, but I know he loves the spot for Shenault because of no Chark, because of how bad the Titans secondary is, and because I like him because they gave him a rushing carry last week. He had 11 yards, and Urban Meyer said, I want to be creative. I want to get him 10 touches. To me, that's like Percy Harvin. I want to see him catching 8 balls. I want to see him getting 2 or 3 jet sweeps, and I'm going over 55.5 on receiving, over 2.5 rushing.
All right, Alex, what do you have in this game?
Yeah, so I'm not officially on Laviska Shenault. I do like the play. The guy I'm on is Dan Arnold. I gave this out on our Friday prop spectacular that Coach and I do. It's on at 2 p.m. Eastern every Friday. We do props. It's amazing. It's props only. It's the best hour of my week. I highly suggest everybody tune in. I give out 5 props. Coach gives out what props he's into. Dave Richards there. He's the man. He gives out 5 props. It's an amazing time. So, yeah, I highly recommend everybody tune in for that. But, yeah, the prop that I'm on is Dan Arnold over 2.5 receptions. I gave this out on Friday. It was plus 150 at the time. I think it's down to like minus 130. So this is why you need to watch that show. I also like his yards. Gave it out at over 21.5. I believe it's now up to 29 or 27. So, again, further reason why you have to watch this show. Just to briefly touch on it, the Jags just traded their number 9 overall pick, C.J. Henderson, to the Panthers to acquire Dan Arnold. We know Urban Meyer loves tight ends. Last week, we saw James O'Shaughnessy in this offense just getting a ton of volume, a ton of receptions. We saw how productive he was prior to getting injured. That is what prompted the Jags to go out and acquire Dan Arnold. Since Dan Arnold has been on the team, his snap share, his targets, his involvement in the offense has grown each and every week. So, yeah, I think this number is way too low. We have Laviska Shenault moving outside, no longer playing in the slot. So he'll be taking all of DJ Chark's role in the offense, which is deeper down the field. So all these high percentage routes close to the line of scrimmage that I love to soak up, like slot stuff, will be handled primarily by Dan Arnold. So, yeah, I absolutely love this play. It's one of my favorite props of the week. Either receptions or his yards, if you can still get him under 25 anywhere. I don't believe that you can. So, yeah, receptions I still like as well, over 2.5.
I got to be honest with you. I'm starting to get a little bit worried about my job, the way that you're teasing forward in these shows. You're going to be hosting in addition to everything you do. By the way, very important YouTube comment that I've got to bring up. It says it's Jason Viardi, and he has a very important question about prop stars. Real quick, let me get back to it. Laverty, can we really trust prop stars without the pigtails? That's the very important question that we got to ask ourselves right now. Not who's going to cover this game, what props. What about the pigtails? As my sweet mate used to say, All right, moving on. Patriots laying 8 in Houston, taking on the Texans. Total sitting again. There's a 3 in front of it, which we hate. 39. Where we stand on this game? Well, we've got one official play, and I'm going right back to Alex to start the discussion because you do have a play in this game. What do you got, Alex?
Yeah, this is a special for the show. Giving to you guys. I absolutely love this play. It's Kendrick Bourne over 2.5 receptions. Since James White went down, the Patriots running back 2 weeks ago, he had a hip injury. He's out for the season. He's on injured reserve. Bourne has ascended to the number 2 option in this passing attack behind Jacoby Myers. He's had 13 targets in the past 2 games. He's turned that into 11 catches for 150 yards and a touchdown. He's playing a Texas secondary that has not looked good whatsoever. I believe the spread has moved from double digits down to 7.5 due to the majority of the Patriots offensive line being out of this game due to COVID protocols. So I actually think this game actually has a chance to be sneakily competitive. So yeah, Kendrick Bourne over 2.5 receptions, I think is an outstanding play, and I absolutely love it. Should have been at least 3.5 in my opinion. Great value at 2.5.
Did you? And I'm late. Well, right now my juice is 160. That's how fast it changed. It was just at 120. You gave it out. It's now at 160. Somebody is watching this show. I'm telling you right now. You know what? I have such confidence in you. I'm going to play it at 160. Boom, right there, Alex.
My man, coach.
There's nobody that trusts you more than I do. AB, what do you got?
Yeah, kind of going off of this game. This might be the most how do we say this? Injured / out. The Patriots offensive line might be all season long. So this could be a much more competitive game than people think. So just putting that out there, that they are dealing with injuries, they are dealing with COVID lists. I think 4 of their 5 starting offensive linemen didn't practice all week. So just be careful there. Yeah.
All right. M Squared, I want to come to you. Piggybacking off what Alex said about Kendrick Bourne as far as catches are concerned, we had a YouTube question. How about Kendrick Bourne over 29.5 receiving yards at -104?
I think the number is somewhat efficient. I think that I don't love it. If you like that number, I would try to find whatever his longest reception prop is and look at that. I'm going to try and find it here and see what the longest reception is for him. I'd feel better about that. Let's see. Over 15.5. Actually, no, I would prefer the yardage over 15.5 then. I was hoping it'd be down around 12.5 on that. I think it's okay to lean, but I don't have a strong take on it. I think that they're still going to involve the running back in the passing game. I don't feel great about this game at all for them, losing 4 of 5 offensive linemen like that. And it's kind of a letdown spot for them after the emotional loss. I don't like this game really at all.
Okay. One quick nugget real quick, and
yeah.
Let me jump in. The Texans are the only team in the NFL that they don't have, multiple wide receivers with over 100 yards receiving. They're the only team. Brandon Cooks has 369 yards receiving, and that's it. I think Farrell Brown is second with about 70. Every other team has 2 or more. The Eagles have 7. The Texans are the only ones that only have 1. So
I think I speak for everybody when I say maybe let's go from 2 packs a day down to 1 pack a day, and then maybe we won't have those issues. Maestro, I want to come to you. We had a YouTube question on a prop, and I just lost it. Oh, Brandon Cooks or Jacoby Myers, both of their props are over 5.5 catches. Do you like either one of those numbers?
Well, like AB said about Brandon Cooks, the main target, but I got burned last week. I had a Brandon Cooks prop, and, Davis Mills couldn't get the ball off in Buffalo, literally could not, get the offense set to even throw him the ball. So that was frustrating, but I do think it's a better spot at home, not out in the weather in Buffalo. Over 5.5, he's probably going to get, he's going to get double-digit targets, I would imagine. So I'd lean over on Cooks, but not going to play it after last week. I'm still still seething.
I love it. Maestro, he's got like two different little people on his shoulder. One says, I'll get over it. The other one's like, I'm still seething from those those bad beats. All right, let's moving on. Now we're getting to the 4:00 games. Now, continue to pound that like button. Today, I think everybody's a little bit slow, a little bit tired. We had a rough night last night and just here for all the good content, and that's fine too. We're trying to change lives every single show, so we need about, I don't know how many more to get to 300 likes and give away 3 more memberships to SportsLine. By the way, that last question from Kelsey, she just won a year-long membership this past week. So, Kelsey, thank you for joining us yet again. We love when you're here with us. All right, Bears and the Raiders. -5.5, 4:05 start time. Here's where we stand as a show. Matty Severance, he's on the Raiders -4.5. And then, Alex, I want to come to you because you have a prop, and I want you to start the discussion. Go ahead, sir.
I do have a prop. I gave this out on Twitter. I believe it was like around 24 hours ago. It is Josh Jacobs over 13.5 rushing attempts. Jacobs had 13 rushing attempts last week against the Los Angeles Chargers. That was in a game, as we know, the Raiders were trailing 21-0 at the half. So despite this terrible game script, we still saw Jacobs end up with 13 carries. They are 5.5-point favorites over the Raiders are 5.5-point favorites over the Bears this week, so we can expect some better game script. Also, for the first time this season, Jacobs practiced in full. So he had been dealing with a litany of injuries that has plagued his efficiency this year. So he is finally fully healthy. Also, Peyton Barber came down with a case of turf toe, is expected to miss the season. He's definitely at least out for this game. So yeah, I absolutely love Josh Jacobs over 13.5 rushing attempts. If you like historical stuff, he has cleared this in 21 of his 30 career starts for like a 70% hit rate. Yeah, so I absolutely love Josh Jacobs over 13.5 rushing attempts today versus the Bears.
I love that. That's a 4:05 play, by the way. Before I get too far away from it, I meant to ask Mikey. Everybody's wondering about the Derrick Henry prop, and I apologize I didn't ask when we were in that game. Let's go back very, very quickly. It's been hovering between 111 and 116. Would anybody play, and Mikey, I'll go to you first, anybody play the Derrick Henry over prop and anytime touchdown prop?
I would like the anytime touchdown more than I like the over on the rushing yards. It's just such a big number, and game script can change things just a little bit. But I'm sure our boy AB is definitely going to lean towards the over on that one. I have it at 112 yards, so I'm not going to play it. And it's not a knock on Henry at all. 112 yards as a median number is a ton of yards. It is a lot of yards in an NFL game. Keep in mind that they could see some shorter fields. Trevor Lawrence still can turn the ball over. You need longer fields to rack up rushing yards typically. So not one that I would lean on the touchdown. I do think he lands in the end zone at least once. But I'm actually going to stay away on the rushing yards.
Right now, my book is up to 116.5 on Derrick Henry. It's got up 5 yards this morning. Wow, incredible stuff. Okay, I'm looking at some of the props that are coming in. I think we are real quick. Hillary Long, she wants to know CJ Hoosman's who's that? Hard for me to read. Over 25.5 receiving yards. Anybody want to take this one? YouTube question.
I don't particularly love it. We saw that he had a breakout game in primetime versus the Jags. I think it's a bit chalky, all things considered. He's at best fourth in that option, especially with T. Higgins back in the receiving rotation. So yeah, I personally don't love it. I don't have a strong take on it either way, but yeah, I don't love the over.
Question, I have it at 19 yards on that one.
You at 19?
Okay. Yeah, I would certainly not play the over. I would consider playing the under. Like Alex said, having Higgins back in there changes things drastically.
Okay. Thank you, Mikey. Alex, real quick, it looks like a lot of people at their books, they have Josh Jacobs at 14.5. Would you play it there?
I would like it as a half unit play there. I don't like it as a full unit play. I love the 13.5 number. If you have 14.5, I like it as a half unit play.
Okay. Very good. All right, moving on because we only have about 15 minutes before the 1 o'clock game start. This time goes so fast. It's unbelievable how fast this hour goes. All right, let's come back to SoFi Stadium. It's awesome. It's only about 50 miles from where I'm sitting right now. It's a gorgeous place. It's an easy drive on a Sunday, not any other day of the week. Browns are in town, and they have started to show and prove, guys, that they are one of the top teams in the entire league. We'll find out today on the road. They're underdogs, 2.5. Chargers are the favorite here. The total sitting at 47. Mikey, I know you were pretty busy the first half of the show. Let me have you start this one.
Yeah, this game is fascinating. I cannot wait to watch it. So one thing Cleveland does really well is they run the football very well. They control the ball well. That's what the Chargers are going to invite them to do. That's their entire game plan. Get them down, let them move the ball through the 20s, and then stop them as they get into the red zone. I like Cleveland here. I think the wrong team is favored. We've talked about it a lot with the Chargers, more so than the Rams. But with the Chargers, there isn't a ton of home field advantage for them in the NFL. I think this game is a true pick 'em. So at Cleveland plus 2.5, I actually make Cleveland -1 in the simulation. So I like them. I included them in my teaser. I've got them all the way up to 8.5, which I absolutely love. But I think Chubb, Hunt, they're both going to have big enough days. And I think that out of all the teams that are out there, I think Cleveland's defense is sound enough that they can limit the Chargers. And if they don't have success limit them, I think that they can keep up with them in a shootout. So I think it's an absolute gift getting this team with any amount of points.
Oh, I love that. And then the Cowboys, all they got to do is win in that teaser to cover that teaser, which I love that teaser. I really do. Alex, quick question, YouTube question. If your hair was on fire, give me one prop that you would have to play tonight or today.
Today, if my hair was on fire. So a lot of the props that I've given out, this is why you need to watch our Friday prop show. The numbers have moved so much. So like the value that's available now is non-existent compared to what it is earlier in the week. So it's hard for me to pick something when everything has been bet and everything is like all the books have adjusted and everything's kind of been set in place. Out of everything I've given today, if I can use a prop that I've given out earlier in the week, I gave out Nick Chubb over 15.5 rushing attempts to stay in this game. I love that. That number has since gone up. But, yeah, maybe Dan Arnold's receptions prop.
All right, real quick. I know time is very precious, but I need to cut a promo on somebody. Can you bring up R from the comment section, please? R. These are the guys that gave out the Texas OU under, LOL. Hey, R, you're watching our show. Literally right now, you're making fun of a show that you're taking time out of your day to watch. Why are you doing that? Because we cash tickets. Yeah, we may have lost that one yesterday, but overall, we kill it. So maybe you don't watch a show and make fun of the guys on it. Maybe you don't do that. Or go watch another show. I don't care. Because we have so many great people who understand how it works. So R, go right back into the comments section and allow me to continue to run the show. Okay? Thank you. Now, we did have a good comment section over there. We're going to recap all of the picks we gave in about 6 minutes' time as soon as we get through these last couple 425 plays. Giants and the Cowboys. Cowboys laying a full touchdown at home. 52.5 is the total. No official plays yet on this game as a show. Maestro, I'll come to you. Do you like this number or the total?
I don't like the number because I think Dallas is clearly the better team, but the Giants, Daniel Jones, 10-2 against the spread as a road dog, and just the chemistry with Kenny Golladay is getting there. And I think the Cowboys are going to outscore them. They have 2 number 1 receivers. They have 2 number 1 running backs. I love their offense, and they're going to outscore them, but I prefer to use it in a teaser, like Mike said, and pull it down to -1.
All right, very good. Anybody else on this game, or we move on?
I'll just mention, I'll echo that. I agree with Larry there. I think these division games can get very competitive. Chemistry with Galladay's there. Saquon Barkley is a legitimate threat again, which does change defensive schemes quite a bit just because he can make a house call at any time on a swing pass. And not to mention Daniel Jones can pick up first downs with his legs. So I do think they're able to move the ball between the 20s a lot. So, yeah, that's why I brought the number down in the teaser.
Oh, very good. Love that. All right, final 4 o'clock game we got to get to, 49ers and the Cardinals. I think this could potentially be one of the more fascinating games of the entire day. Why? Arizona, they're the last undefeated team in the entire league. 49ers, they have a dynamic, young rookie quarterback getting the start today who played all of 1 season in FCS football, Trey Lance. but we think he has a big upside. But what's going to happen today? We don't know. Cardinals laying 5, the total sitting at 48.5. Where we stand on this game as a show. Dave Richard is on DeAndre Hopkins, the under 75.5 receiving yards today at -115. So, AB, I'm going to come to you. Do you like the number or do you like the total?
I like the number, and I'll tell you exactly why. The Cardinals, it's all about do they turn the ball over or not. If they don't, you're done. They're lethal. The Cardinals are 4-0. They've scored 30-plus points in every single game and 400-plus total yards in every single game. If they don't turn it over, you have no shot.
All right. Anybody else on this game?
Yeah, I'll take the other side. It does scare me that every quote-unquote sharp or professional that I know, that I talk to, that I watch or listen to is on the 49ers in this game, as am I, as is RJ, but the reason is the spot. The Cardinals had a great spot against the Rams last week. The Rams were coming down from that big win over Tampa. It was a prove-it game for the Cardinals off a very sleepy spot in Jacksonville. Well, now they're coming off of a breakthrough monumental game, and the 49ers had a chance, Kyle Shanahan, to put in a full game plan for Trey Lance, knowing that he's going to be the guy. They never really thought Jimmy G was going to get there. The Cardinals have been so vulnerable to the run all year, 5.4 yards a carry. That's going to be the game plan. I think obviously Trey Lance is going to run, but the 49ers are going to have a lot of success, and that's going to keep it close. So, yeah, I like the 49ers. But, again, I'm worried that every single person I talk to is also on the 49ers.
All right, Alex, what do you got?
I have a prop that interests me, not an official play, but definitely worth talking about. It's Christian Kirk's receiving prop. I believe it's in the low 40s. Kirk has been really good to start the season. He's been over in 3 of the 4 games. He had a dud last week versus the Rams in a game that we saw Arizona lead wire to wire, essentially. So they didn't really need him in that game. I absolutely love what I've seen out of Kirk. He is second. I think he's either second or third on the team in targets this year. Prior to last week, he was averaging over 70.5 receiving yards per game. He's very good. The Cardinals have so many options. We're talking about a very depleted San Francisco secondary that has had trouble stopping anyone. So, if you can find Christian Kirk in the low 40s, I do like that. I think it has some value.
Yeah, Kelsey helping us out in the comment section. That number is 41.5, Alex, is the number on Christian Kirk. Kelsey, thank you very much for that. Let me come over to you, Mikey. Trey Lance, we rarely see a number this high for a quarterback when you talk about rushing yards, but this is Trey Lance, 44.5. YouTube question. Do you like this number?
It's pretty efficient at that point. It was over 40 at a time, and I still lean to the over. I would not play the under on it. I like the over more than anything, but I can't play it at that number. But yeah, he clearly has the upside to get there. Clearly has the upside to get there. We might be looking at someone that a number, at least early in his career, is going to routinely be above 50, and this might be our only chance to get it. So I don't hate it in this spot, especially as we are pretty sure this game's going to at least be competitive. So I would lean towards the over, not an official play for me there. I want to back up Maestro there. Unfortunately, it may not be a good thing, but I like the 49ers side in this one as well. Look, I think that it's a good spot here. RJ said it best, frankly, when he did his little write-up, and that is undefeated teams at this point in the season typically have inflated numbers in the market. Now he's going up against a rookie QB with the first start here. I love that Shanahan's had time to plan for it, but there are a few key injuries on the other side. I think both guys are going to end up playing. They are questionable, but they are banged up. Chase Edmonds and Max Williams, both guys electric players that have been key options for Kyler Murray in that passing game. If one or both of those guys are limited, I think it is an interesting spot here. I think it's a good letdown spot. I think the Cardinals probably end up winning the game by a field goal.
All right. Very good. Incredible information. Okay. A couple of things we have left to do before we get out of here. And I know the games start in exactly 6 minutes. So we have gone over 300 likes. So I'm a man of my word. We will get 3 names either right now or as I'm talking, we'll get them in the next couple of minutes. So here's what I want to do. I want to throw up the recap of the official plays of the show so people have one final chance to get them in. And here's what we're on as a show. Kendrick Bourne over 2.5 from Alex. Adam Humphries over 23.5 receiving yards. And if you guys have something else that's not up here in your final take, just go ahead and give those out as well. Maestro's on Justin Jefferson, as well as you saw plenty of the sides. Alexander Madison over 22.5 receiving yards, and Kirk Cousins over a half interception. They got to get to 1. All right. So I know there's other plays, so you go ahead and give them out. I like to give my guys final 30 or 45 seconds to kind of tell us what they're looking forward to over the course of the afternoon. So M Squared, let's start with you.
I'm just looking forward to everything. I'm looking forward to this Alexander Madison day. I think that I like this receiving prop a lot here. I look forward to this Packers game a lot. I want to see if I'm frankly right about them. Again, I have them as a top 5 team in the NFL. Pretty ambitious, but I think that they're there. So should be a big day for Devontae Adams.
All right, AB.
Nothing big for me. I think that I'm interested to see if this is another ping pong week, right? Like we talked about teams that lost last week. How do they bounce back? We're talking about teams like the Titans, teams like the Saints. How do the Giants, the Jets, the Broncos, right? Teams that lost, the Raiders. How do they look this week? That's what I'm most fascinated to watch.
Well, I can tell the Jets looked awful this week. I can tell you that much right now. Alex, what do you like? What are you liking the most today?
I'm looking forward to watching the Cleveland Browns. I'm officially adopting them as my team this year since the Eagles stink. Love the Browns, that roster, top to bottom, most talented in the NFL. Larry and I were both on their team total over to start the season, so I have a little extra vested interest in the Browns. Can't wait to see them play a very good Los Angeles Chargers team. Can't wait to see that running attack. Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt. I love the way they play football. I love the defense. I love that they lean on the best offensive line in the NFL. So, yeah, I'm a huge Browns fan now.
There's some really good late games today. Some really good late games that are going to be fascinating to watch. And we will, of course, recap them tonight at 7 o'clock, 7:20 Eastern time. Maestro, what are you most looking forward to today?
Yeah, one late game I didn't get a chance to chime in on, but I kind of like the Raiders today. Haven't locked it in on SportsLine yet. I know there was a controversy going on with the coach, but this Bears defense, the Lions move the ball up and down the field at will. I mean, if they could make a snap or just run a simple play inside the 20-yard line, they probably would have won that game. The Raiders are in a bounce back spot off of playing a very tough Chargers defense, and Hakeem Hicks is out. This guy is one of the most important defensive players in the league. Mack is going to play, but he's probably not 100%. So I think it's a good spot for the Raiders to bounce back.
All right. Yeah, Alex, real quick.
Just to piggyback on what Larry said, Hakeem Hicks being out does help that Jacobs prop as well. I wanted to touch on that when we were talking about over his rushing attempts.
And I'm officially calling that pulling a J Smooth on the show. That's what we call that, getting your last play in right underneath the wire. All right, game start in 3 minutes. We've done all the damage that we can do. Hopefully you wrote down all the sides, all the totals, all the props. You've got them all in. Don't forget, we'll be back at 7:20 Eastern time tonight, breaking down everything Bills, Chiefs, and looking back at our plays that hit and, quite frankly, our plays that don't hit. I love this team. I love these guys. I love everything we do every single freaking day. So there's only one thing left to do. There's 2 things left to do. I guess that's true. There's technically 2 things left to do. You're right. You've got your marching orders. That's 1. Let's take all of these Sunday tickets straight to the pay window. That's 2. For my guys, M Squared, AB, Prop Stars, and the Maestro. I am the coach and the jeweler behind the 1s and 2s normally. But today, my man's traveling. So you didn't even know AB was producing today. That's how good the man is on the 1s and the 2s. All right. I love these days. I love watching these games. Tell all your friends your favorite sports betting brand, not show, brand, is the Early Edge. Good luck.
Do you want best bets in your feed every single day? All you have to do is hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with all things Early Edge.